Well, you done me and you bet I felt it. I tried to be chill, just so hot that I melted. I fell right through the cracks, and now I'm trying to get back. Hey, soul sister, ain't that Mr. on the radio? The stereo, the way you move ain't fake. Take me home, country road, to the place.
You will be able to play 100 songs in 10 minutes. Hundreds of songs use this exact chord progression. G, D, E minor, and C. There's going to be two parts of this video. The first part is going to be how to play the chords, and the second part is going to be how to practice the chords, and we're going to practice them together. So grab your guitar now, if you haven't got it already, and let's go. So, the G chord, first of all. You get your middle finger, put it on the 3rd fret of the lowest string, of the E string. Then, get your index finger, put it on the 2nd fret of the next string, of the A string. The next two strings are left open, so the D string, the G string. The B string, we're going to put our ring finger on the 3rd fret, and then we're going to put the pinky finger on the high E string, like this. And then try to strum it, and try to let them all ring out. At first, it might sound a little bit crunchy if you can't press all the strings down. It's a little bit awkward at first. Don't worry if it's not perfect. But that's your G chord. Get used to that for a second, play that a little bit, strum it a few times, try and get it sounding as clear as possible. It's going to be difficult at first, but you'll get there. The next chord is a D major chord, and it actually looks like the shape of a D, so that's how you can remember it. For this chord, you get your pointing finger, and you put it on the 3rd string up, on the G string, 2nd fret. Next, you get your ring finger, and you put it on the B string, on the 3rd fret. And then finally, you get your middle finger, you put it on the 2nd fret of the high E string. And then we strum this chord, and we try to just strum the top 4 strings, the highest 4 strings. Okay, try to avoid these. You can put it's a bit difficult. If you put your thumb over, you can actually mute them. But don't worry about that. All you want to do is aim for the highest strings at this point. Okay, strum that a few times, try to get used to it, try to get it sounding nice and clear. Next is an E minor chord, okay? You can either use these 2 fingers, your first 2 fingers, or your middle 2 fingers. I sometimes use my middle 2, but let's learn it together with the first 2 fingers. So your index finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the D string, like this. These 2. So you skip the first string, and then the next 2 strings down. Strum that. All the strings for this one. Get that sounding good, practice that a little bit, take your hand off, put it back again. And then next we have a C chord. For this one we get our ring finger, put it on the 3rd fret of the A string. Then we get our middle finger, put it on the 2nd fret of the D string. And then we get our pointing finger, put it on the 1st fret of the B string. That's 3rd fret of the A string, 2nd fret of the D string, this one here, 1st fret of the B string, which is the 2nd highest string there. And then we strum all of the strings apart from the very top one, so aim for the top 5 strings here. Don't worry if you hit the bottom one for now, we're just going to do our best to aim for the top ones. So get used to that, take your hand off, try and rebuild it again. That's our C chord. So now we have our G, our D, our E minor, and our C. Now we need to get to practicing the chords, okay? So what we're going to do, I'm going to count to 4. We're going to strum on the 1, we're going to strum the G. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, strum on the D. 1, 2, 3, 4, strum on the E minor. 1, 2, 3, 4, strum on the C. Now I'm going to start counting slowly, okay? So on the 1, when you strum, as soon as you strum it on the 1, 2, start changing. 3, 4, D, 2, 3, 4. You get prepared. Don't worry about it letting it ring out for all 4 beats. You just need to change by the time the 1 comes round. Now, if you've never done this before, it's going to be very hard. So go back, rewatch all the chords and get them in your head. The G, D, E minor, and C. Come back to this video and practice with me every day, and you will get there and you'll learn hundreds of songs, literally. So, let's do this together. We'll start off slowly. As soon as I say one, you strum, and then try to prepare the next chord for the next one, okay? Let's try this together. G, 2, 3, 4, D, 2, 3, 4, E minor, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4, D, 2, 3, 4, E minor, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4, D, 2, 3, 4, E minor, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4, D, 2, 3, 4, E minor, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4. Okay, if you couldn't keep up, then go through that a few times, and then we're going to come back to this part of the video. You can come back to this every day and practice every day. We're going to do the same thing, but we're going to strum on every beat now, so we're going to have to try and maintain the chord. So we're going to go, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, then change to a D. Okay, so you might need to rewatch that first part and practice it through. So let's get ready. 1, 2, 3, and G, 2, 3, 4, D major, 2, 3, 4, E minor, 2, 3, 4, and C, 2, 3, 4, and G, 2, 3, 4, and D, 2, 3, 4, E minor, 2, 3, 4, and C, 2, 3, 4, and G, 2, 3, 4, and D, 2, 3, 4, E minor, 2, 3, 4, and C, 2, 3, 4, and G, 2, 3, 4, and D, 2, 3, 4, E minor, 2, 3, 4, and C, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 2, 3, 4, and D, 2, 3, 4, E minor, 2, 3, 4, and C, 2, 3, 4. Good job, guys. So if you come back to this video, rewatch those training parts, rewatch the chords, make sure you know them, watch the slow training part and then the faster training part. You will literally know hundreds of songs. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know how I can improve these videos, and remember to subscribe and like, please. See you soon.